Oh, love and money, the topics that everybody of us really loves, I hope. So, who am I? I am the co-owner of the consultancy, which is called Innovatica, and we say that we help companies grow through innovation. But this is a sort of the very boring way of introducing myself. So I'll start with my childhood. So when I was a kid, I really loved to be a surgeon, and I wanted to practice as quickly as possible. So all my dolls and bears, they were always injured with scarves, etc., on their heads or legs. And apart from that, I wanted to really make the operations. So I used, the bodies of dead flies or bees, and I was just cutting it. And I was also using, sometimes, the body of the died frog. And I really wanted to look inside, to have a look what is happening inside this body. So you may think that it's disgusting, but it was so exciting to me that I can really have a look how it works. And I didn't know at that time that Michelangelo was doing exactly the same thing. And when I discovered, I was like, oh, I have something in common with him. That was really nice feeling. So curiosity and the real need to have the feeling and to experiment was something that was really driving me. And I think this curiosity and experience and experimenting really stick to me nowadays as well. And the frog, there is one more reason why I'm showing you the frog and telling you the story about the frog. You may remember the fairy tale that says that when you kiss the frog, then you discover the prince. Of course, I wanted to discover the prince on the white horse. And actually, we are using this metaphor with the frog nowadays in our work when we are saying that there are a lot of companies who really want to find the prince, and because they want their innovation or their product to sell well, right? They want the customers to buy the products. So it's like kissing the right frog. How to make this innovation really a success, a new product a success? How can you make it? You can kiss a lot of frogs, just blindly kiss a lot of frogs, which means you are launching a lot of products and you are hoping that one of them will be really a success. But of course, if you find it a disgusting thing to kiss a frog, you should have a sort of the key, more information about which frog should be kissed. And the answer in my business right now is the customer's needs and problems. When you really know the customer's problems and the customer's needs, then you don't have to kiss a lot of frogs. You just kiss the one and you have the success. Because addressing the problems and the needs of the customers really generates the success. So this prince, the prince on the white horse, this was something that I really, really wanted to happen into my life. And I was thinking, okay, when I meet such a prince, I will really love him and I'll get back his money. So it's enough to give the love and you get the money in return. Okay, you give love, you get money in return. So simple. Okay, so does this work in the real world? Yes, it does. And not only with husbands. It also works in terms of the business. When you give love to your customer, you can expect their money back. So they are the companies that are really icons, you may say. Oh, sorry, a few more slides. So I really believe that it works in business, and this is what I work with. So we help our customers to make more customers using the products, or to reduce or cut the churn rate so that more customers really are loyal and stick to our company. And we help design the products and services that really that are really loved, and users are captivated by them, and we really help to create success stories. And I'm going to share some of success stories from Poland, but before, of course, I have to start with the iconic names in terms of customer experience and in terms of love which is given to the customers. So, of course, Zappos. Is there anyone who doesn't know who Zappos is? Probably everyone knows. They are just the e-commerce company, right? The e-commerce company, but they say about themselves that they are powered by service, because they are really crazy about giving a great service. If you are calling a call center, you can ask them not for the shoes or the sorry or the clothes that you want to buy, but you can even ask them a question about the closest pizza house in the new town, and they will tell you, although it's not their business, but they really take care about their customers. So, another company which is really crazy about customer experience is Nordstrom. The Nordstrom, what they do, when it's winter and you spend quite a lot of time at the store, and you don't want to get to your car when it's so cold, you can give them your keys and ask them to turn on the engine so that it gets a bit warmer when you get to your car. That's incredible. They don't do it because it's their business. They do it because they love their customers and they really want to bring them some pleasure and exceptional experience. So, when they work on the customer experience, they do everything to understand their customers, to understand their context, the context of their customers, and to generate the exceptional value. When they were designing the app for the tablet to help their customers make better decisions for buying sunglasses, they were working in their stores for a few days. They were working and co-creating it with their customers. Another great brand which is associated with great customer experience is Apple, of course. And just a few days ago, a new Apple Watch was announced and launched. And it's incredible because it's displayed just like in the museum, you know? It's just two sizes and a few different bands, but it looks like it's, oh my God, it's worth $1 million. And in order to try it on, you are somehow introduced to that because you have to deserve trying on. There is a special magic that their salesperson has to do. And you feel like, my God, that's incredible. You know what was the result? The first million watches, how much did it take to sell the first million watches? 30 hours, 30. 30 hours to pre-sale the first million watches. Incredible, really incredible. And Steve Jobs has got this very nice saying. He says that design is a sort of the soul of what man can create, and it expresses itself in the outer layers. And this customer experience is like the outer layer, what we can really do for our customers. So when love is inside as a soul, then all the layers are also the lovely ones. And another one which gives exceptional customer experience and really wants to take all the tough things away from you, or even the things that you don't like, make a bit more nicer to you. It's Virgin. They have designed their billing system or billing interface so that the customers really love it. That's incredible. You can love to pay your bills. Isn't it fantastic? And the Starbucks, of course, that was mentioned by Bartek, they are working not only on the product, because all of us know that the product in Starbucks is crap, right? Anyone likes coffee in Starbucks? I don't believe it. But we keep going there. Why are we going there all the time? Because there is something else that's really magnetic and magic. There is this relationship between me and barista. There is this pleasure that I have. Usually there is a sort of a surprise. And they are also working on the whole experience and the whole environment. It's not only the product and it's not only the relationship, it's also the music, because they know that the music is a part of this experience, and they have their own record company. And they also try to make the payment moment the most seamless. And for example, you can order your coffee when you are approaching the cafe, and you can just get into the cafe and pick your coffee. You don't have to queue for a long time because you have already ordered it. Okay, you just take it. Fantastic. And the Starbucks is really obsessive about the customer experience, and you may have seen this customer experience map online because it's available and quite famous. So they're analyzing each touch point, and they try to understand what makes their customers feel great and what is not really working very well. So it is important to go through the whole journey with your customers through each of the touch points to understand, oh my God. Sorry for that. To understand what makes your customer feel not really very nice and what may generate the problem of frustration or irritation. And during the whole process of developing a new product or service, you use many tools, but one of them, the customer experience canvas or customer experience map, is something that really is a very powerful tool because it helps you understand what are the phases and what are the touch points that your customers go through, what is really happening here, what is generating gains, what is generating pains. And the nice thing to do as well is to make this little visual graph as well, so that you understand whether your customer feels saying that there are nice things here, whether it's a really important thing for him, because sometimes they may say a lot of things, but it's just natural, almost natural. They don't take it as something very unusual. But sometimes when there is just one thing below the neutral line, which is a pain thing, it can be so heavy that it really crushes everything. And what happens when you have a lot of bad experiences and then one good one? How do you think? How the customers feel when there are a lot of bad experiences and then one good and then bad again? You know, the customer thinks that it's something wrong, that it's false, that it's not really a good experience, that someone is trying to cheat him. Because you have to remember that the customer experience should be really kept as even, thank you, that's the word, as even as possible. Okay, when everything works okay, but sometimes one thing does not work okay, then it's again very bad. And this is the example from one of the Polish banks. The bank which says that it's both traditional and modern, and it's really working hard to show that there is a lot of modern sorry. You have to really love me to stand what I'm doing with my throat. I'm sorry. So there are, for example, tablets that allow you to sign the agreement. But if you want to make sure that your personal data is okay in the agreement has to be printed out. So the guy has to get up and go to the printer and bring it back in a few minutes. And you have a look at this, and oh my God, there is a mistake. So what the guy is doing, he has to rewrite the agreement. You know, there is a design director at Innovatica whose name is Sergiv Sukumaran, and he's got some more surnames, and he was born in India, and the name of the place that he was born is really difficult to pronounce. And you know, it took them 4 times to sign this agreement because there was always a mistake. He couldn't have a look at the screen at all his personal data. He could only sign the agreement. This is crazy, isn't it? That really makes the whole customer experience really bad. Just one thing can spoil a lot. Okay, so we don't really realize what we are doing to our customers and how we make them feel. We don't intend it, but it happens. Sometimes we really spoil it without knowing what we are doing. So one of other banks, also in Poland, asked us to help them design the customer experience in the branch during opening account so that it's a really exceptional experience. And so they wanted to give love to their customers, to enrich their customers during opening the account. But you know the rule. You give love, you get money back, right? So they wanted some money back. This money, in this case, was a shorter time to full activation of the bank account, because you've got a lot of channels, you have to do a lot of things before you can say that you are really banking. And they also wanted to have a word of mouth spread, so that you have to really design it so that the customer really activates his account very quickly and becomes an active user and talks about your bank and your offer. So we went through the process, which is a very typical process. You may have seen this one or some similar ones. So we start with defining what are the goals, what are customer segments, etc. We are exploring customer needs and understanding the problems and trying to look for opportunities. And then we are creating the solution. We are creating the solution and immediately you are testing and then getting back to creation, because usually during the tests we discover that something doesn't work as we thought that it could. So we have to a little bit develop our solution. So this is the iteration, of course. And we start with the paper prototypes and mock-ups and the things that you saw in the morning. And then the more advanced we are in the work, we can prepare a sort of MVP, minimum viable product, which allows us to do the real market experiment. So the customers don't know that they are participants of our test. And then you get ready for implementation. So we did a lot of interviews, a lot of workshops, a lot of analytical work. And what have we discovered? So what this bank, who was really well prepared for offering a great customer experience, what have we discovered that they are doing? So we have discovered that customers feel like they are on interrogation. You know, one of the first questions was, how old are you? Do I have to answer this question? How old am I? The next one was, what is your monthly income? Mm-hmm. Or are you married? God, why do I have to answer such questions when I want to just open an account? Okay, so it was not really a very nice way of talking to the customer. Another thing that we have discovered was that there is so much information about a lot of products that I don't really want to listen about, to hear about. And they are just pushing, and it comes here, leaves here. I just don't remember what they are talking to me because I just want my account. I don't want to buy anything else. And there were a lot of materials that I got in a huge box. Not the box, but, you know, this thing. And I didn't really know where to look for the answers. When I had a question, I couldn't really find the proper leaflet or the proper page on this leaflet. It was hopeless. It was beautiful. It was wonderful paper. It was very aesthetic, but it was useless. Oh. Okay, so we have also discovered that the customers are not equal. So some of them said, I need some time to spend in the branch to talk to the consultant. I want to learn a little bit more about the offer. And there were other people who would say, make it quick, make it quick. I would rather stay, and I hope it will be quicker. Because when I don't take a seat, the whole process will be faster. Of course, it's not true. The process is the process. But they preferred to stay instead of taking a seat to make it quicker. And they were already prepared for this conversation. They knew the offer. So we have discovered that it's not just one type of the customer, but there are some differences. And we have to adjust to that. So what were the results, the deliverables? We have designed a totally new process that didn't ask questions at the beginning, how old are you? Totally new dialogue line, which was not really reading the script, but it was more about talking to other people. We have developed around 10 different physical tools that would help talk to another person, understand the problems and needs, and present the offer and the products in a way that the customer thinks that they are really co-creating this conversation. And they were also the tools that would help activating the account, because remember, that was one of our goals. So we have among those 10 tools, there were 2 simple questions at the beginning, and one of them was, how much time have you got? Such a simple thing. How much time have you got? And another thing at the end was a little surprise. So they were given a sort of the joker card to come back when all the steps in this activating the account are already checked. So what were the results? The shining eyes of the customers who were saying, how incredible this first question was. How much time do I have? Then they were so intrigued by the surprise. They said, I have never ever met anything like that in my life, in the banking. My God, this is the bad guy. He says, I've got 30 seconds. So they were really, really happy. And after the tests, there was the pilot, and then in May, they are launching it in the whole country. So remember the rule, you give love, you get money back. Okay, and it's important that the experience starts before the customer enters your room or before the customer enters your web page. It starts when he talks to his friends. And your customers will talk to their friends when your happy customers will talk to their friends and spread the word about your business. Okay, there is another example, very, very briefly. May I? No, 1 minute. Okay, so it's a B2B example. So the company that's offering a really boring things like outsourcing, HR outsourcing and accounting outsourcing, but they are talking to their customers by the values that they can provide. When you work with us, you will have time to rest, you can reach your goals, and you will have time to spend on the nice things that you like to do. Okay, and they are building the customer-centric organization. And they asked us to design a tool that would support speed dating events, because the companies of this kind are doing a speed dating events, and everybody's really telling the same thing. So we have discovered the cards that the customer could point and read what's on the other side, and the customers could really arrange this conversation. And we used for that the value proposition canvas. And the cards were really addressing the different parts of the value proposition canvas. And the very last thing, they also do the customer advisory boards, which means that they engage their customers. And they said, we want to show you our kitchen, so let's go to the kitchen and let's cook together. And can you help us work or develop our tools and our offerings? So they were cooking together and then developing the products together. And of course, those customers would spread the word further. Okay, thank you very much.